There is no greater feeling than when my computer tells me we are live. Yeah, we come to give you all of the shenanigans, all of the craziness, all of the grown man talk, everything that comes with the way that a podcast should be, right? We're not here to give you some pristine look and everybody talk eloquently and dot their I's and cross their T's. We're telling you to wake the hell up. Good morning. We are here. If you didn't feel the thump that just arrived in your living room, in your office, in your I don't want to be in your bedroom. Yeah, Leroy almost said bedroom. I don't want to be in your bedroom. Neither Leroy or I want to be in your bedroom.
Not at all.
Not at all. But if you felt the thump in your living room, in your family room, yeah, we don't want to be in your bathroom. This is not going well. This isn't going well. The things that are coming to mind
Just leave it in the front room, okay?
in the front room.
Leave it at the front room. Leave it at the front room.
If you didn't feel the thump in your front room,
Or the
then
knock on your door.
or the knock on your door, or the blowing of the horn. Have you ever had someone come to pick you up in a quiet neighborhood and just blow the horn, yell out the window because they ain't really from the area you now live in? They're not from the burbs, they're not from the suburbs. They are really from a whole different space where that is permissible. If you have ever experienced that, we come to tell you that we feel your pain. We understand your challenge. And we're happy to be with you this morning. Leroy, say what's up to the people, man.
Good people. How you feeling? It's Greatness Thursday, y'all. Think
Greatness Thursday.
different Thursday. That's what
Greatness
we do
Thursday. What
around
else
the
is it?
Indies. It's Think Different Thursday.
Think different Thursday.
That comes from your favorite your favorite person, and I can say that he's your favorite person because you have all of his products, but you got all of his products, and that's Mr. Steve Jobs.
Got,
He said
yeah.
he said don't look to be better than your competition. He said look to be different than your competition.
Ooh-wee. Listen to me. Think different Thursday. All hail, Steve Jobs. All hail, Leroy. Bow. I need you to bow.
Absolutely. He is
Bow.
one of the he is one of the greatest minds of
Bruh.
the 20th and 21st century. I've said that, man.
Yeah.
He solved the problem that we did not know we had.
God,
that's
dog, bro, that's
that's
so
how
true.
that's how genius he was. He said, "I'm gonna solve a problem you ain't even got."
You don't even know you have the problem. You don't know you have
Right.
the problem. You don't know that that there is an answer to the clunky Walkman that you carrying around
Come on.
in your hands. I'm gonna
I
put
know, right?
1,000 songs in your pocket.
Ain't this? I'm just like when I think about him, I marvel at just his mind, man. If you ever watched like his addresses that he did to his company and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah,
when he
yeah.
when he introduced the what was it, the iPod? I think that was
Yes,
the iPod back in the day.
yes,
Spoke he spoke on this monotone voice all the time. It was just
yes,
it wasn't gonna get high, it wasn't gonna get low. It was just I'm staying right here. I'm gonna
yes,
talk right here this whole
yes,
time.
yes.
We got this little product for you. It's gonna allow you the ability to be able to carry 1,000 songs right inside your pocket.
That's it.
Genius.
That's
That's
it.
what genius does, bro.
And I'm marveling at the fact that you caught that, right? Because I didn't catch that. The
Yeah,
fact that he expected brilliance so much that he was just level about it. Like it
yeah.
really wasn't. I mean, he launched in big ways, right? He had these huge launches. Apple still has these huge launches that everybody
Mhm.
looks forward to. But he wasn't so hyped on himself. He was just like,
Not at all.
I'm gonna put 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Yep.
That's what I'm here to do today.
Right. That's what we do. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So if you guys aren't thinking like that, uh I want each of you. I'm a wrestling fan. Back in the day, I used to
Mm.
go to watch wrestling, WWF, NWA. I used to watch wrestling when it would come to the Philadelphia Spectrum. I remember it like it was yesterday, Leroy. I would go, and one mom, Lola Wesley is in Delaware, and Dee Dee Wesley and Bernice, we call her Pumpkin. We used to all go to. I practically lived with that family, right? I spent every weekend with that family. That family was my family, still is my family, right? We would go to wrestling at the Spectrum. One Saturday, I got the bright idea of taking my binoculars because we
Mm.
we would sit pretty far away. We weren't too close to the ring. Took my binoculars. I found out there's no Santa Claus. I found out I found out when he swung, he didn't connect with nothing,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sitting there, everybody's screaming. I'm like, really? Like this ain't real?
No, sir.
I, my feelings were hurt. And if you can tell in the tone of my voice, ladies and gentlemen, my feelings still hurt. My feelings are still hurt that wrestling isn't real. The wrestling today ain't like the wrestling of
It
old.
can't touch. That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
man.
This stuff, the music, the movies, all of that can't touch what it was in the 80s and the 90s. And I've said this, I think the peak was in its 90s, because as the 2000s came, that's when you started to see the decline in talent. You
For
started to see the decline in all of those things, man. And I'm just like,
sure.
it hasn't been the same.
For sure.
It
Agreed, man.
nothing has been the same since then, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, who was your favorite wrestler, man?
Ooh, back in the day,
Yeah, yeah, back in the day.
I had to say Hulk Hogan. And I used to love Superfly Snooker.
Jimmy
I don't know if
Snuka.
you remember him.
Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Superfly Snooker. That dude would get up on the top ropes. But it was, I mean, I liked it because it was entertainment.
He was
But
in
you had Junkyard Dog.
Mr. Wrestling
Yeah,
number two.
yeah,
He was in another he was in the NWA, I think.
yeah. But the NWA wasn't nothing like Ric Flair.
Ric
And the
Flair.
four
Woo!
and I love the thing, the TikTok that they have now, if that they use his voice, and he's like, give me two, was it two something and a woo, these gay, and I'm having trouble walking in these gators. He's like, I'm the suit wearing, alligator wearing, jet
Oh my God.
flying, kiss kiss stealing, jet flying, and I'm having trouble walking in these gators. I was like, that is vintage Ric Flair. That dude, he was like, yeah, this is me in all my splendor. Don't be jealous. Don't hate. It's
That
just
boy.
who I
That boy. Lala, what you know about wrestling? She like
am.
Kamala. I remember Kamala. Kamala,
Oh, that was the African, wasn't it? Was that was the African dude, wasn't it?
he pound on his stomach, slap his
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, 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 yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow, she dug up a deep one.
Talk
She went
about
deep on that
people,
one.
bro.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to know wrestling to
Kamala.
know. Could yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, Kamala. I remember she said that was my favorite wrestler. Really?
Wow. But that's some Saturday mornings. That's what that was Saturday
uh,
watching. Get up, you watch well Saturday afternoon. Early afternoon watching wrestling, bro.
bruh, listen, I mean, wrestling was Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes,
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes. Yep, absolutely. Yep,
um,
yep, yep.
uh, uh,
It's a lot of them, man.
lot of them, man. From and so my all-time favorite wrestler is somebody that most people won't even recognize. His name is Bob Backlund. So
Yes, yes.
Bob Back,
He was the that was when I really started was Bob
yeah,
Backlund because
bro,
he was a wrestler.
yeah,
He knew how he
he was
actually
a wrestler
wrestled.
for real.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was a
He was a
wrestler
wrestler
for
for
real,
real.
man.
Yeah, wrestler
Babyface
for real.
assassin Bob Backlund, Harley Race.
Mm,
Um, you know, who was the guy, man, that perfected the swinging full Nelson?
the swinging for
He
Nelson.
had curly hair. He was an Olympic champion. I forget that Ken
Yeah,
something.
really.
Yeah, man.
I can't.
Yeah. So I remember those cats. I remember wrestling. Shout out to all the wrestling heads of which my wife is one, a wrestling head. I didn't even know that about you, girl. You kind of what else don't I know about you? What's your real name? What's,
What-
what,
what's your government name?
your government name? Yeah, I need to know. I need to know. Sometimes my wife say some crazy stuff, boy. Like she said, "Hey, you know, if we ever divorce, I'm keeping your last name, right?" I'm like,
I ain't
no,
going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. You go always. Cause
most,
she talking about I'm up in here. I'm
I'm
up
up
in
in here.
here.
I'm up in here. Out the blue, man. It just comes out the blue. It didn't like no context, no. I'm like, babe, what, what are you talking about? I'm just telling you. I know you've been married before. I don't know what they did, but but I'm keeping the last name Morton, right? And she wears it well. Good afternoon or morning again to you guys. This is the Grown Man Podcast where we can have differences of opinion without divisiveness. This is where we can have grown man conversations and have different points of view. I absolutely love this podcast. And it is happy Blackity Black History Month. It's not, listen, don't come on here talking about happy Black History Month. No, Black History is all year long. But in February, it's Blackity Black. It's Blackity Black History Month. And if I know Lala is primarily, man, I don't know whether you knew this, Leroy. My wife is primarily Native American. Like
Okay.
she's Cherokee for real.
Oh, okay.
She's
Okay.
not Cherokee like my mom. My mom just told me some stories, man, that I didn't find out until later on just wasn't true. She said, hey, baby, you know we Blackfoot Indians. I'm like, okay, mom. She's like, yes. She said, you know, your Aunt Catherine is actually Cleopatra Jones in the movies. So I grew up with these fallacies. My mom kept it going. Like she never told me the truth. To the day she passed and transitioned. She held on. She said, boy, she did tell me finally, you know your Aunt Catherine ate. I said, I did not know that until I hinge on every word my mom says. So
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mom just says some crazy, crazy stuff. So put in the chat, Lala, you too. We know you Native American, but you too, put in the chat. Happy Blackity Black History Month. If you don't put it in there like that, we will not show your comment. Your comment doesn't unless you say happy Blackity Black History Month. If you need to know how to spell Blackity, it's Blackity. Happy Blackity Black History Month. And I know that some of you see the topic for the day. Some of you are a little nervous about what we're going to discuss, but it's going to be okay. It's gonna be all right. Uh, Leroy and I gonna argue. That's what we do. We do best. We are really siblings. We really are. We are siblings. We fuss and fight like brothers for real. This is what we do, right? Um, and and I absolutely love it because I did not have a brother growing up. I didn't have a brother. I had a sister, and so now I got a brother that I can argue, put in the headlock. He put me in the headlock. Give us wedgies. We can do all of that.
Oh! Now you want to be the older brother. Now you want to be the older brother,
Yeah, I'm the older brother in this instance. I'll go back to being the younger brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, you used to see your uncles always arguing. Hey, get that lick up in them.
Yes.
And grandma had to come break them up.
Yes. And there is no, listen, I don't know where y'all from, but Leroy is absolutely right. There is no funnier fight than two old drunk people fighting. That is the funniest thing in the entire world. There is nothing like two old drunk people arguing, two old drunk people fighting, because everything is slow motion.
This is. I'm gonna switch it a little bit. This is hilarious. It's funny, but it's wrong. I'm telling y'all right now. Don't get mad at dog. I don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you the jokes. Honest Jay is a straight fool, bro. I gotta find the videotape. He did this comedy skit. I was hurt. He said his brother is mentally challenged, right? And he talked about, he was like, he said he took his brother to the mall one time, right? And he said he thought he could park in the handicap spot. So he parks in the handicap spot because his brother was with him. And he said it was a dude that was mentally challenged too that was driving it and got mad because he took the spot. And he started yelling. And he said his brother got out the car. And they started arguing with each other. Then they started fighting. He's like, he's the two mentally challenged people out there fighting. He was like, they did all this swinging and they ain't nobody hit nothing. He had me crying, dude. I was like, this dude.
You gotta send me the link.
Yeah, I gotta say it is hilarious, bro. Honest Jay is to me, he is a unsung comedian. He is hilarious. The dude is straight funny. He told that story.
She said Honest Jay is her favorite comedian.
Oh wow, okay.
That should be a question of the day coming up.
Yeah, I definitely do that, Lala. Yeah, I definitely do that. The unsung comedians, yeah. But he told us, bro, I saw that on I believe it was on TikTok. I might have it saved. I hope I do. Bro, I was straight crying. I was like, this dude ain't right. There's something wrong with him.
Oh my God. And those are the kinds of comedians and jokes that you don't really know whether you can laugh at, but they so funny.
They just funny. And Honest Jay, he's one of those comedians that all he gotta do is look at you and you bust out laughing. You ain't said nothing, and he just make you laugh. And I'll swear, him and Earthquake. Earthquake did the one about Aretha Franklin. I don't know if you heard that or saw that.
Have not.
He talked about her funeral, right? Because you know her funeral was like real long. He said her funeral went on for like he was like her funeral was so long. He said the queen went and changed the clothes. Service. He said, Aretha Franklin. He said when she went to the pearly gates, he was like, Aretha, you were supposed to be here yesterday. He said, St. Peter said, I know you the queen, but he the king. Them two, I gotta pit them two against each other. I think I'm gonna do that. The Earthquake versus Honest Jay. Them two are they are hilarious, man. They are, but they did them two skits. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, these
Arnez J.
cheat guys are
That,
stupid.
let me tell you, real talk, Leroy, what caused me to fall in love with Marla. And it's different than I'm sure anybody has heard about falling in love with someone, right? So
Mhm.
I fell in love with Marla. We were watching comedians,
Okay, okay.
and she laughed like she laughed like out loud, like this.
Hmm.
It wasn't like this, this
Right, right,
funny
right,
laughs. It was a gut busting laugh, and I said, I can do this.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
can hang. We were laying in bed last night, just we're watching these. We're What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Dwight Robinson. Oh, were we? Lala said we were actually watching Arnez J.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, okay,
we were
okay.
actually okay. So I know who it is now. So now we're in the habit, Leroy, of don't do this. I'm telling you, don't do this because it's gonna ruin your whole experience, right? So Marla is an actress, right? So one of the things that she does is she's an actress. So she has taught me how to watch movies, right? And how
Mm,
to watch plays and all those things.
hmm.
Now I can't stop. So
Mm,
when I see a
mm.
flaw in a movie, we were watching
Yeah,
these black movies on Tubi, and I see a guy look off to the left because he reading his lines. I was like, babe, he just read his. She's like, and last night she was like, oh, Donald, I'm so sorry that I told you what was
because
happening.
now you pay attention to
Now
it
I
all the
pay
time.
attention to everything, bro. Everything that's happening in the movie, right? So we were in tears last night watching the movie. Like, yeah, look. He forgot his lines, and so he's looking off, and you can tell that the budgets are low because you can't keep cutting and going back, cutting and going back. So they just go through it, and it's the funniest thing in the world, bro. Watching this stuff. So what time is it? Oh my God, it's 10:23. We are 8 minutes behind. Lest anyone remind us of how to do our podcast. We are 8 minutes behind. So Leroy, let me turn it over to you, man, for your segment of Leroy. My computer Gary died. Let me let me plug my computer in while you
Uh-oh.
while you go.
No, not the Apple computer about to die. It don't die.
It multiplied.
Apple computer don't die. It don't lose its charge.
It
It's like
started.
the Energizer bunny. It keeps going and going and going.
It started to tell me, yeah, my man, you gonna lose all power, all power. Go ahead, man. Your turn.
No, well, I know we decided for the Blackity Black
Yes,
month of February
yes,
that
yes.
we're going to highlight black great blacks that we aren't readily that people aren't readily familiar with, or we might not even readily familiar with. So
Most
I wanted to start this month off with one that I don't think most people are familiar with.
okay,
They might know the first name. There are 10, it might be 11 now, um, billionaires, black billionaires in the United States.
okay,
Only 10.
okay,
Most people know number one, which is Mr. Robert Smith.
okay. Yeah, absolutely. Robert F.
Most people know Mr. Robert Smith, but
Absolutely.
most people don't. Most of us as black people don't know the number two gentleman.
Okay.
I put his face up there. Most people would be like, "Who that?" He just he just looked like a just like a regular dude or a regular CEO. But his name is Mr. David Stewart. I want y'all to look him up. Because most people don't
Mhm,
know about him and the great
mhm,
work that he does. But it's Mr.
mhm.
David Stewart. Let me give you real quick. He was born in 1951 in Chicago. He is the chairman and CEO of Worldwide Technology (WWT). It's a leading technology service provider, and his journey becoming the second richest African American in America is characterized by innovation, determination, and a commitment to excellence. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Wow. Did you say in the tech industry?
yeah. Yep. In the tech industry. Yep. Mr. Stewart's entrepreneurial spirit came in the forefront when he founded WWT in 1990. What began as a small technology reselling company in St. Louis has since grown into a global technology solutions provider with a remarkable annual revenue. Mr. Stewart's ability to navigate the ever evolving technology landscape and adapt to market needs has been a key factor in the success of WWT. Under his leadership, WWT has become a trusted partner for major corporations and government entities, offering a wide range of technology solutions, including cybersecurity, cloud computing, and digital transformation services. The company's success has propelled Mr. Stewart to great financial heights, making him one of the wealthiest African Americans in the country. Beyond his business achievements, Mr. Stewart is known for his philanthropic endeavors. He and his wife Thelma established. They established the David and Thelma Stewart Institute for Jazz Studies at the University of Missouri, St. Louis, showcasing their commitment to supporting education and the arts. His rise to becoming the second richest African American in American serves as a testament to the power of entrepreneurship and the impact of visionary leadership in the business world. His success not only solidifies his own place in history, but also paves the way for future generations of African American entrepreneurs. In conclusion, Mr. Stewart's journey is a shining example of how a combination of innovation, perseverance, and commitment to community can lead to extraordinary success in the business world. As he continues to make an impact, Mr. Stewart stands as an inspiration for aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly those from underrepresented communities, showcasing the limitless possibilities that can be achieved through hard work and dedication. That's Mr.
I
David
absolutely,
Stewart, y'all.
I've heard that name, and
Mhm,
I think you introduced me to that name.
mhm.
Um, how many of you type a one in the chat if you have heard before Leroy mentioned Mr. Stewart? How many of you actually knew the name of Mr. David Stewart? Type a one in the chat. I know that many of you know, and how many of you know Robert Smith?
Yeah,
I'd like to know. We oftentimes are inundated. This is a part of the reason why we wanted to do it this way. We're oftentimes inundated with keeping the legacy alive, and I get it, of the Dr. Martin
yeah.
Kings, Malcolm X's, right? Celebrate them all day. I get it. Um, but there are, what's up, Nodella? There are so many others of us that are brilliant,
Yeah. Yes.
that have done incredible work, that have advanced our cause, that have moved the needle, that we don't often talk about, and we should. And I don't think, Leroy, talk about this a bit, man. I don't think we need to continue to wait until our people die
Correct.
before we celebrate them, acknowledge them. I think we need to be better at acknowledging the people that are making significant contribution to the culture. Um, I think we need to start
And,
celebrating.
and, and we do because we can't and I get it. We have to acknowledge our history.
Yes.
But we have to also understand too that we are making history. We're creating history now
Yes.
that the next generation and the next generation
Yes.
and the next generation will
Yes.
read about, should
Yes.
read about,
Yes.
should know about.
Yes.
And one of the dudes I'm gonna do, and I can't remember his name. I always forget his name, but this man has created this, and he has the patent and everything, where he's created this machine that cleans water from. He does it. He creates water, does water through air, from air. And you know the problem that Flint is having,
Yes.
with the water.
Yes.
I don't understand why Flint government has not bought this man's machines to clean that water up there. That problem can be solved immediately. Probably
Wow.
because it's a black man that has
It's a
created this stuff.
black man and he wants what the machine is worth.
Correct.
So if he would have come up and says, "Hey, I give this to you at a discount," then everybody be all over it. But it's crazy how we pay pharmaceutical companies
Hmm.
massive amounts of money for them to provide, prescriptions, drugs,
Hmm.
those kinds of things. But when it comes to something like that that can bring real change, it reminds me of my favorite movie, Leroy Acrimony, when he walked
Mm.
away from the
Yeah.
table,
Right. Right.
right? He says, "Yeah, that's not a good deal."
Yep.
He ultimately gets the deal that it's worth because he's willing to walk away from the table,
Yep.
right? So I think a part of it is, yes, that he's black. The other part of it is he's black and he understands what he's worth, and he's not just willing to give the machine away for free.
No, and it's not even that they have to give the machine away because he has the patent, so it's his. They would have to buy it. They would have to buy
That's
the
my point.
use of it
That's
or
my point.
lease it.
So
Lease it.
if he would go in and say, "Hey, we just gonna provide that because our love for the people,
Hmm.
we were
Hmm.
just gonna provide that," then they would be like, "Okay, good, 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 good." But the fact that the man owns a patent and that the patent is worthy of probably a fortune, they're like, "Yeah, we not
Yeah.
gonna."
Yeah, because he's on TikTok. He's on TikTok. He's on Instagram. Just join. It's something phenomenal. But these are like you said, these are the people that we need to be highlighting. We need to be highlighting the Miss Catherine Johnsons of the world. This one and folks, y'all don't understand. This woman is responsible for putting a man on the moon.
Yeah, yeah,
Period.
yeah, yeah,
She is the only reason we got to the moon.
yeah, yeah,
Her brilliant mind. That movie Hidden Figures, I was just like, are you kidding me?
yeah, yeah,
And they don't talk about these people. We get, like we said, we talk about Dr. King. We talked about Brother Malcolm. We don't even talk about Fred Hampton, which is going to be on my. He's going to be on my list too because we don't talk about him.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
these
yeah,
these people that are unsung and
yeah.
that have gone untalked about. We get the same things during the hit. We're going to, and that's why I'm glad we're doing this. That you
Yes, sir.
decided to say, hey, let's do this
Yes,
during
sir.
Black History Month to get and like we said, we black 365, y'all. We
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
black
yeah,
just during the month of
sure,
February.
for
We black
sure,
all year long.
for sure.
so
But
so
in
these
black this month is not a Nodella. Don't come in here talking about Happy Black History Month. This is not Happy Black History Month. This is Happy Blackity Black History Month. We're gonna talk about the people that are significant to our culture because there's a part of us that has to get back
yeah,
to the culture that we really
for
should be
sure.
about, right? And then in addition to that, we're gonna have some hard conversations this month. We're not gonna have conversations about Malcolm and Martin. We're gonna have conversations that are provocative, that are somewhat controversial. I've chosen topics that I feel like Leroy and I may disagree about because I want to. A part of being a grown man is be able to disagree without being violently disagreeable. That's Martin
Correct.
King, right? Um, Nodella says, I work for a company under NASA who launched Hubble and James Webb telescopes. It was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd like to hear more about that because I don't know anything about that. And that's a part of what I feel like. I feel like our Leroy, tell me whether you can agree with this, man. I feel like a part of the challenge with our young people today that our young people are experiencing, and I think it's justified, is that their ears are numb to the same figures
Mhm.
every single year. Like there,
Right.
it's like y'all don't laugh at me. Marla don't laugh. Marla last night, boy, we were watching a Christian movie with Dietrich Haddon in it, and somebody was speaking in tongues, and that girl That girl stood up and sat up in the bed, said with stammering lips. I said, "Oh, she Pentecostal for real, right?" So my wife, my wife is absolutely Pentecostal for real. Um, it's like I don't know whether your church participates in it, Leroy, but in Delaware, there's this seven last words thing that
Yeah.
happens every single year, right?
Mhm.
And I remember my mom saying, "Baby, there's not another thing that we can get from the seven last
Out of the seven last words.
right? Like there's not we and she said we making up stuff now, stuff that ain't even in the text. We making up stuff now, right?
He done got all the butter out the duck.
We done what? What the, that's a what saying is that? We got all the butter
All the
out.
butter out the duck. You can't get blood from a tuna.
I do
All of
remember that one. I've never heard anyone say
you never heard to get the butter out the duck.
I've never heard anyone say I've gotten all the butter out the duck.
Oh,
What is
you ain't black then. You ain't black. You ain't blackity black.
well?
See, you done started off wrong. You ain't blackity black.
Uh, uh, I don't quite understand. Like, help me, because now my interest is piqued. Right, help me understand butter in a duck. Like,
Yeah, it don't make sense. Don't try to make sense of it. Don't. Yeah, you'll hurt yourself trying to make sense out of it. Just take it for what your grandmama said. Get the butt out the duck. Okay, okay, grandma. Just say okay, grandma. Okay, grandma. All right.
look, Nodella said I never heard of that either. Like, yeah, Leroy, I think that's specific to your family,
Nah, that ain't specific to my
or
family. No.
it's specific to that those two people that are mentally challenged. I think one of them said that, bro. I don't think. Hey, listen, before we go any further, get your copy of the Remand Book, www.theremandbook.com. It will absolutely change your life. We are getting testimonial after testimonial.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I sent one to Leroy last night. And he said, "Hey man, you got to post that," and I will today. The book is blessing lives.
Make
And
sure they take a picture with it too.
yeah,
See if
yeah,
you can get them to
absolutely.
take a picture with it.
And she only has the digital
Did
copy,
you right now? Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I asked her. I said, "Hey, take a screenshot, a picture with you and your favorite part of the book." She let me read what she says, which is
Yeah,
just
yeah, definitely you want to do that real
phenomenal.
quick.
Um, where she sends me a text, no context, no hi, nothing. This is what the
Just
text says.
straight testimony.
Great testimony, right? In all caps, your book. She said, "I'm internalizing it. Before I knew it, I was on chapter 7. I had to slow down and go back. This is a book. This is a read over and over and over again book." That's what
and
Leroy's
and
saying.
and tell them this isn't from a man.
No, this is from a woman. This is from a woman who has the book. Like, this is a read over and over and over again book. From a sister. Yeah. Yeah. So it's phenomenal to see individuals, because Leroy, now I have to give Leroy credit, because the book is written to, specifically, it's written to men. And it was Leroy who reminded me, he said, "Don, it's written to men, but be clear, this can benefit ladies as well." And I said, "Okay, okay." And so we have anybody who has wanted to purchase the book. The book has benefited anyone that has read the book. Look at my wife. She said, she talking about the butter and the duck, Leroy. She said, "Leroy, where you from?"
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Or as we say around here, Baltimore.
Baltimore,
Baltimore.
Baltimore, Maryland.
I don't know why they think we got this accent. And we from Maryland. Not Maryland, Maryland.
I used to say Maryland. Is Maryland. So
It's
Nodella said,
Maryland.
"Get the butter." She had to go look it up. Nodella said, "Get the butter out the duck." It just means a person has worked hard. For example, after a long, stressful day at the office, I came home and announced they got the butter from the duck today. That equals my job, employer, duck me, butter, the good stuff, peak performance, hard work. Nodella, Nodella, because she was so confused by it. She said, let me look this up because this is clearly something Leroy has made up himself.
Oh, so I made that. I made that definition up.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that,
I
no,
just
no,
called
no,
Nodella. I just called Nodella up and said, "Hey, Nodella, I need you to
no,
write this
no,
down
that's not what
so
I'm
that you."
saying. I'm saying that she had never heard of it, so she was like, let me look this up because I think Leroy done made that phrase up. Right? So it is actually a phrase. Get the butter out the duck. Yeah, and I love what Leroy said, bro. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. So I'll figure that out. Because there is no figuring that out. And I agree. 'Cause I would have never gotten that. I
From the
would
butt out the deep.
yeah,
What that said.
yeah, I would have never gotten that. Ready to put the hoodies up?
Let's go, bro. Let's
Let's
go.
work. Those of you again, welcome to the Grown Man Podcast. The Grown Man Podcast is the podcast where we have grown man conversations about grown man stuff with grown men and women in the room. It is the place where we get an opportunity to disagree with one another and it be absolutely okay. We can disagree without being violently disagreeable. We can have different perspectives and we can actually grow from it. We have learned that there is another way to look at love. Love is the intentional and willful extension of oneself for the purposes of nurturing one's own and or another's spiritual maturity. Love is not about feel good statements. Love is about
Mm.
stretching yourself and others towards spiritual maturity. I love Leroy McKenzie Jr. I respect Leroy McKenzie Jr. And that's why there's not a lot that Leroy could ever ask me to do that I would not extend myself and stretch myself to accomplish. I feel like it's the same way from his side to mine. We help one another to grow because we love one another and we respect one another. Today, we're going to have a bit of a controversial conversation. I don't know where Leroy stands on this conversation. And so it's going to be interesting to hear his stance, and you'll be interested to hear my stance um, about this because it's Blackity Black History Month. It's not just Black History Month. Miss me with that. If you come on here talking about Happy Black History Month, you will be blocked, banned, booted, right from the podcast.
We're gonna put the finger up, the Matumbo finger. Get that out of here.
uh, yeah. Get that out of here. Um, and if you want to come back in the room, you can, but come back right. Make sure you understand we are black 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day. We are Blackity Black this month, 29. God was so kind to make sure that we had 29 days in this month so we could really get into some things we need to talk about. I'm coming in hot today, Leroy, because
Coming in hot.
I'm coming in hot. Nodella shaking her head. Nodella, is that you shaking your head or is that you shaking your damn head? Which one? Is that you shaking your head or is that you shaking your damn head? I think both of them are emojis. I just want to know which one that is from you. Is that you? Is that SMH or is that SMDH? Which one is that? Leroy, which one do you think it is with Nodella? You know Nodella. Which one is it?
I was just shaking my head.
Oh, she says shaking her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I- if I put that emoji up, Leroy, which one is that for me?
Well, we know what that is for you. SMDH. Emphasis on the D, real big
Yeah,
D.
capital D, lowercase s, lowercase m, capital D, lowercase h. Absolutely. That is me. I got to get it in any way I can. Everybody done check me about. Wait a minute. Cotton picking. I know that. I know that. Shaking my cotton picking head. Yeah, yeah. I know that one. Leroy, I'd like to talk today for the next half hour, man,
What you
about
got?
um I want to talk about reparations.
Okay.
I'd like to talk about reparations. There's this ongoing debate about
My 40 acres of a mule that I still ain't got.
our 40 acres and a mule that we still ain't got. Nodella said, Don, I know you from the country to get that. Yeah, I know cotton picking. I know I'm a cotton picking head. Absolutely.
He ain't from the South.
I'm
He
I'm I'm
from
I'm
he,
I'm,
he
I'm
from
from
Delaware. That
Atlanta.
ain't
I'm
South.
from Atlanta. I'm
That
from
ain't. Now you from Atlanta.
I'm from
Okay.
Atlanta. My favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons. Check us out. Check us out in
I,
2000.
I I
Check us
I
out in
told y'all he ain't loyal. He ain't loyal, y'all. He ain't loyal.
I just want y'all to be aware um, that this year I have two teams, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. Who has created the rule? And we'll talk about that at another time. Whoever's created the rule that I can't have two teams, I can have whatever the hell I want to have. I want to have two
Don't
teams.
no Della got 8 teams. She are
That's
her
right.
favorite teams.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You ain't loyal either. So you moved from Dallas because you don't like the owner.
Oh, come on now. No,
Look,
I
look,
see.
look,
I
look.
had a specific reason for why I am no longer
Me
loyal,
too.
and
I
it
moved to
or no,
Atlanta.
I wasn't loyal to them. No, if the owner
Here
can't
you
be
go,
loyal,
y'all. Here you
I
go.
for sure ain't gonna be loyal. No, sir, not at all, not at all.
I'm just saying, Leroy, our numbers are lower today than they've been. Could it be that is it that people aren't? I mean, they're still good, but I'm wondering whether or not it's people are exhausted over the conversation of reparations. Do they not understand reparations? I'm interested in your point of Nodell said I got three teams, period. Three teams. So I feel good about my I feel good about where I am. Leroy, talk about the is the conversation around reparations important? Where do you stand on the issue of reparations? Will we ever get reparations? And who should get reparations? Like, I want to have this conversation. I want to talk about it all.
No, well, here's the thing. I think it goes to what you were saying just a little while ago about the seven last words. People are exhausted about talking about reparations. And those of us that truly understand know that in reality, the reality of it is that I don't believe in our lifetime, maybe it'll happen after us, that we will truly ever get reparations. We've been how many years now, and haven't seen any movement towards giving us reparations. There have been other communities, other ethnic groups that have had been decimated in history, and have gotten reparations and continue to get it. They continue to reap the benefits of it. They get laws passed. They have laws that they have laws that ensure that they continue to receive and gain those benefits. But we seem to have been and seem to be the only group of people that has been on this continuous fight to be able to get what you said. And Dr. King said it, and I know we trying to, but he said just be true to what you said on paper.
Just be true to what you said on paper. That's one of the most brilliant lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just be true to what you said.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah, 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 absolutely. I do
You
want to
know.
lift this up, Leroy. As of 1/31/24, the first series of reparation packages have been introduced in California.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that they have been talking about doing it. The governor of California have
Yes,
been talking about trying to do that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So there seems to be some movement, at least. California is probably one of the most liberal
Hmm.
states in the union, right? So there seems to be some movement. Let's move away from whether or not it will ever happen to having a conversation about whether or not it should happen.
Hmm.
Um, do you think we are owed reparations? And if
Absolutely.
okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think if you look at in comparison to the other ethnic groups that have encountered, the same, well, it's not same, but similar atrocities that have been afforded them, from other communities, and they got reparations from it. How can you justify saying that we aren't entitled to it and that we should not receive it? Because that would be saying, okay, well, what you encountered, what you went through does not matter. What we put you
So-
through versus what we did for others that we put through something
Okay, okay,
doesn't matter.
okay. So who else has gotten reparations that we can use as a model?
Well, you talked about, we talk about the Jews, the Holocaust. We talk about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the United States bombing them for what they did at Pearl Harbor. They got bombed, but we have, the United States has spent to this day still assisting them in rebuilding. And so that's the to me that's the comparison. You might think that it's not, it's not comparing, it's not in comparison with each other, but I believe that it is. And it's, I mean, and our atrocity is even worse than theirs because it was over a longer period of time and still continues.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Nodella says if the powers that be don't see we've been wronged, it will never happen, which is a gross misconduct of justice.
mhm.
In Connecticut, multiple Native American tribes were given reparations. We need to get somebody to dig into their behinds and make them honor their word. My personal opinion on who should get it are those whose foreparents were impacted by slavery and inventions created by them. Um, Thank you for that, Nodella. That was going to be my next question. Like we're talking about the need for reparations. Um, like who gets it? Because to your point, Leroy, there are a lot of people who say Jews got reparations. No, Jews didn't. Holocaust survivors, right?
Mhm.
All right, got reparations. So it's not just this. Everybody that's Jewish gets reparations, and it won't be everyone that is black should get reparations. I don't know that there's even a formula,
So
and if
what was
so,
what was
what
the
does the
form
formula look like?
what was the formula used for the Holocaust? What was the formula used for Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I don't either. But I'm just saying that becomes, like you said, that becomes the template for the formula.
Okay,
What was
okay,
used in order
okay.
to be able to just, to give those reparations. Who was it given to? Why was it given to them? How did you how was that determined?
Yeah,
And what
and
did
I
it
think
look like?
Nodella brings it up, man. This is really going to be the challenge. Not all blacks have been negatively impacted as we are to believe. Not every black person has been negatively impacted by slavery. I'm a bit more conservative, which is a part of the reason why I wanted to bring this topic up. I knew Leroy and I would have some subtle differences in the way that we approach this. I'm not so sure. Like let me tell you what happens in our communities with stuff like this, right? What happens in our communities, Leroy, is the moment they come out with this package in Cali,
Mhm.
the people who don't get reparations that are black begin to say, well, why am I not included? Like there's this, and I hate to say it this way, I'm gonna let you fix it or come for it, right? There's this entitlement issue that if we're talking about the if we're talking about reparations based on the enslavement of African people that are directly in line with Donald Morton and Donald Morton Sr. and Hickman, and right, if we're talking about that, okay, I might be okay with that, right? If there's a direct line and we can show, to Nodella's point, we can show that there is an impact, a negative impact that has been created based on that, okay. But Leroy, I'm having a hard time believing that all of us have been negatively impacted by the enslavement of black people during that time. Do you have a hard time connecting the dots with that, or is it real clear for you?
Nah, well, my thing is it may not have directly
Okay.
impacted every one of us,
Okay.
but indirectly, I believe that it has.
Okay.
And I was watching it was a reel that this brother did, that I was watching yesterday, and he was talking about Snoop. And he
Yeah.
was saying about the comment that Snoop, he said he changed his mind about Donald Trump or whatever. He was saying Donald Trump ain't never done nothing wrong to me, bad to me.
Okay.
And the brother said, and I thought it was a great statement. He said he may not have done anything directly to wrong you as an individual, but there have been other people that look like you that he has wronged, and he listed the different things where he talked, where Donald Trump has talked about, black people, and us, coming from those whole countries and stuff like that, and just the way that the mistreatment, the discrimination that him and his father did with the apartments and renting to black people back in the day, those things, and he was saying that that's the people that may have been, not that he may not have felt it. That's just like someone of another other ethnic. They say, "Well, I haven't done anything, against you with slavery. So why should I have to pay? Why should I have to give you reparations when I didn't have anything to do with it? That was those people back in the day. But you are the beneficiaries of what those people did back then, just as we are the people who have an overall, and you can disagree with it, as from an overall perspective, as a community, as a people that have been impacted by slavery. So it may not have been directly, but indirectly. Jim Crow, the where we couldn't buy, we couldn't live in certain areas. Those are all things that impact us as a community as a whole. To this day, folks still don't want us living in certain neighborhoods.
I'm willing to have that conversation.
Hmm.
Right? I'm definitely. I think that comment and that conversation has some teeth.
Hmm.
Where I am challenged is how because I do think if we're talking about the mistreatment of black folk, if we're using Donald Trump kind of as a model, and I'm kind of over the Donald Trump conversation too, because quite
Hmm.
frankly, um, Donald Trump People disagree with me. I'm more on Snoop's side with this. For me, uh, he may have had some apartment buildings or what have you. I don't really know that story a lot. I've heard it. Uh, what was it, Leroy? He had apartment buildings that he kept black people out of, or he was a slumlord. What was it?
No, they would not. Him and his father, they owned the apartment buildings, and
Yeah.
the way that they identified black applicants was to put a, I forgot what, I think it was a C or a D color to signify a color, to let them know that these were the people that weren't going to. They put the application in, but they weren't going to rent to them.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So
Got
I
it.
mean, but even beyond the discrimination,
Yes, sir.
because part of slavery was discrimination, if you will. But even you're talking 400 years of the mistreatment of a people
Hmm.
that doesn't go away in 200 years, doesn't go away in 100 years, because you have placed yourself so far beyond those people even beginning to try and catch up to the equality that there should be.
Mm.
There's a reason why. And ask yourself this question: why do you think, and this is for the people watching too, why do you think that we have been the only race or community of people that has not gotten reparations for what has happened, and nobody wants to address the issue? They don't even want to talk about it. It's just like, can't y'all get over it? That's their attitude and mindset about it. Why do you think that they have that particular mindset about it?
So let
You
me
don't
ask.
hear you don't hear them say that about the Holocaust. Let's just forget it. And or what are y'all complaining about? Or what are y'all, you'll never hear any of them say that about that.
I don't disagree with anything that you just stated. I don't disagree. How do we? And let me tell you what I believe happens. Right. Let's say that tomorrow, reparations was passed,
Mhm.
and each of us got a check.
I know where you going.
Leroy,
I know where you going, and I'm going right there with you. Go ahead, go ahead.
each of us got a check for 100 grand. Literally.
I'll tell you why I'm laughing once you finish. Go ahead.
You think that's gonna make impact? Because you have said over and over again that
Here's,
$100,000 ain't gonna spend 6 hours.
exactly. Here's the sad thing about that, bro. And Dave Chappelle did a skit on his show. It was hilarious. Where they addressed the reparations, and they gave everybody what he said. And they had dudes riding around in Cadillacs,
Right.
going about. And here's the sad thing about that is that the money, and this is what they don't realize, the money would come right back to them.
Right. Right.
Because what you just said, our dollars don't even spend 6 hours in our community.
Right. Right.
We ain't spending money on us, with
Right.
us. Yeah, this blackity black, y'all. This
Just
blackity black
like
month.
Nutella said, my purple Lamborghini costs 1.2 million. So
Right, 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 no dollar. You know what I'm saying? Come on. So understand this, that yeah, and that's a sad statement to have to make, and we're joking about it, but we're serious about it,
yeah.
because that's the unfortunate truth about what we're talking about. That,
Yeah.
and see, here's my thing too, and I don't know if we'll have time to get into it, but what does reparations look like?
Right.
What
Right.
does it look like? It doesn't have to just be in monetary
Right.
means, them
So when
cutting
you
you a
start
check.
talking like that, black folk don't agree. Like black
Right.
folk, we don't have we don't we don't always think. So if you start talking about other ways of being able to provide reparations to a people who have been injured, right?
Hmm.
And to your point, that injury is still happening. It's not that the
Mm-hmm.
injury is going away, that injury is still happening. The injury of Black folk have been redefined and repackaged over decades. So as soon as we find a way to address it, they repackage it, do something else, right? So if we start saying, okay, we're gonna give every Black person in America, and I just don't agree with it. I don't agree that every Black person should receive reparations. I agree that perhaps those that have been most close to the injury, if we're using the enslavement of Black people as the benchmark, then those that have been most close to the injury, whether it's 3, 4, 5 generations, I don't know. I don't know what that number is, right? But it can't be everybody, because to Nodella's point, everyone's injury is not created equally. Everyone's injury is not created equally. And also, so I think that as we begin to think about what reparations looks like, if there's ever going to be reparations, and if there's going to be a financial benefit to reparations because of reparations, then somebody better catch us ahead of time and teach us financial literacy.
But see, it's
Somebody better
more than
catch
it's.
us ahead of time and say, hey, let's take a portion of this and let's create our own banks. We got to do something different other than just throw money at the problem and thinking that money is the issue. Money is not the issue. Discipline is the issue. Financial literacy is the issue. We are not in the positions that we are right now, particularly financially, because of the enslavement of our ancestors. We are in the predicaments that we're in now because all of us will take $100,000 and go put a down payment on our purple Lamborghini. That's why. And whether we hear it from Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, or whether we hear it from George Frazier, or whether we hear it from what's my man with the Black Business School,
Bushwhacking?
Boyce Watkins, whether we hear it, all of these people are telling us the same thing. And what's crazy is some more than others. What's crazy is nobody's gonna come for Dennis Kimbrough. Like you're not gonna come for him and not get walked. Like you come for him talking crazy, you're gonna get walked, you're gonna get dragged. He's
For real,
just
for real.
right. But Boyce Watkins has said the exact same thing, and they dragging. So for me, there's so much more conversation. I love your point. There's so much more about the conversations of reparations that has to go beyond the financial piece to it, because we're not really talking about the real issues.
But see, here's the thing, Don, and this goes to what we deal with and what we have been dealing with justice, rights, and what was the third piece to that? Yeah, because you had
Responsibility.
justice and responsibilities. What does reparations look like for that brother who has been wronged and not being able to see his child?
Yeah, yeah,
What's his what's
for
his
sure,
reparations?
for sure,
What does that look like from a justice standpoint?
for sure.
So it doesn't have to be just in the form of a financial payback.
Yeah,
What does it look like in these kids? And I say this all the time now. Reparations right now should be part of that. Could be education. You
mm,
have schools here in Baltimore.
mm,
Kids are going to school in the winter with no heat. They
wow,
sitting in classrooms with full coats on.
wow,
In the summertime, in the buildings are so hot that and they have no air conditioning, that they have to close schools down. Fix the schools.
yeah, yeah,
That's reparations. So it doesn't have. We've got to use our 21st century way of what I call 21st century way of thinking
yeah,
beyond it just being the purple Lamborghini, the mansion, having giving us the ability, changing, as we always fight against, changing the laws.
yeah, yeah.
That's what to me, that's what reparations looks like.
But you do
Because
know that you
if
would get significant pushback for that position, right?
oh, absolutely, I
Yeah,
know. I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Because like you said, it doesn't become an individual thing.
Yeah.
It becomes an overall thing. and
Yeah.
and and I think President Barack Obama said it so eloquently. And he talked about, because what's his name, Charlemagne the God, they interviewed him and they would talk, well, what have you done specifically for black people? That, well, dude, he's the president of the United States, not the president of black people. And what President Obama said was, he said many of the laws, and he broke down a couple things. He talked about the poverty rate decreasing. He talked about, I think, on an educational level. But he said the things that we did, we're not going to come out and say that they directly
Yeah.
were for black people.
Yeah.
But if those people are the ones that are most disenfranchised and we're writing laws that have a positive impact on them, I don't have to say it,
Yeah.
because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of things that we've got to get our mind. You talk about this mindset.
Yeah.
You said it last night, yesterday.
Absolutely.
Mindset.
Absolutely.
Mindset is everything. So our
Absolutely.
minds have to be right when it comes to looking at reparations. And that's why I said, ask the question, what does it look like? Because it can take many different forms,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
many different shapes, in order for it to in order for it to directly impact those individuals,
Yeah.
and then impact us overall as a community.
No,
What, to
Della
me,
said,
when
what
you look
about
at
this
it that
thought?
point,
She said, what about this thought, Leroy? They might feel that we don't deserve it because so many of our people have benefited from the welfare system.
but the welfare system wasn't created for us.
Yeah,
And
it's
if you
more
and
white
if you look
people.
at it,
It's more white people that yeah,
school them, absolutely. There
absolutely.
are more of them, and that's what it was created for.
Absolutely.
But the imagery and the narrative that's
Absolutely.
placed is to make you think that it's us, but it's not. It's
Absolutely.
not. We're not the ones that benefited from it the most. So they
Absolutely.
can try and make that point, but the point is mute, because we can say, hey, the majority of you all
Yeah.
are benefiting from that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's just like the civil rights, where people won't talk about the civil rights era. The ones that most benefited from it weren't us as black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was white women.
Yeah.
They don't want
Nodella
to talk
said
about that.
they won't accept financial literacy coaching, just like when an athlete from a poor background, because they're focused on wanting to bling out. Yeah, when a people have been disenfranchised and denied for so long, they just want to look like everybody else. Like everybody else has had this access for years and years at a time. To your point, Nodella, I'm thinking from the position of people who have traditionally not had, right? So that's why and I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that this is how some of them think. Like, I
Right.
haven't had, now that I have the opportunity to have, I don't know about tomorrow. I ain't living for tomorrow. I'm living for the day. I'm gonna go get my car. I'm gonna bling out. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do. And here's the deal. I don't have any problems with a guy buying a car, blinging out. I ain't got no problems with that. I got a problem with what's left after you do that.
Hmm.
So after you bling out, after you buy a car, which by the way, both of those things are depreciating assets.
Yep.
Neither of them are worth anything. The car, particularly after you drive it off the lot, right? It's already diminished in its value. And we just don't have, to your point, Nodella, we don't have financial literacy. We don't know how money works. So I'm thanking God for this new generation of people, the Pinky Coles of the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
Derek Hayes of the
Yeah.
world, these other what's the podcast king guy? Him and Donnie. Um, this new generation of cat and sister, these young people are doing business,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
They're not, now they got nice stuff, they got nice houses, they got, but it's not based on how much you spend. I don't care how much a person spends. I care about how much a person has left after they spend. How
Yeah.
much do
Yeah.
they still have after they bling out, after they wild out, after they buy cars, how all that kind of stuff? Like how much you got left? And if you don't have anything left to be able to live, you are blinged out broke dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things that Anthony O'Neill talks about. And because here's the thing, like you just talked about giving reparations, you give people $100 million, everybody $100 million, and the question is, we talk about this all the time here. Do you have an educational fund for your children? Do you have a trust for your family so that you feed into the trust and that the trust can live on like the Rockefellers?
Right, bro.
Do you have a life insurance policy?
Right.
If you really want to do reparations, then this is thinking outside the box, bro.
That's what
Give
we got
every
to
black person a life insurance policy.
start them off
Ma-
that way so that we can get into what would the Rockefellers do. Don't
Yeah.
give me money.
Yep.
Give me money.
But they ain't trying to
Particularly,
hear that, bro.
right. Don't give me money when I don't know what to do with it. And I can hear
Yep.
black people now. I know what to do with it. I'm gonna spend it. Yeah, but
Yep.
but 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 here's the deal. Those that have not had financial literacy, when they get large sums of money,
Yep.
they lose it.
Yep.
That
And
is
that
that is the data. They lose it. They don't keep it.
lottery winners,
Right.
athletes. If you look at the data,
Right.
why they go broke is
Right.
because they don't have an understanding of
They
how
don't know how
money
money works.
works.
And listen, this ain't us coming for y'all. This is us just trying to wake us up. Like look, this is me shaking my computer. This
I
me
know, right?
shaking my computer. Like I'm trying to wake you up because if you don't understand how it all works, you won't last as it relates to the money that you got. They're not thinking about that. Like Don said, they're living in and for the moment only. Some
Yep.
will say, my kids can fend for themselves when they get grown. That
Yep.
is a mindset that many have. My kids. Now, I think I think Leroy just did something that I absolutely agree with because I don't agree with reparations in the way that they are talking about it. I just don't.
Hmm.
It doesn't to Tramel's point, it doesn't benefit us long term. Tramel
Yeah.
says reparations should have a lifelong impact for generations,
Yep. Absolutely.
right? So if we're going to have reparations, what should it look like? I think that's a fair question. If I'm going to agree with reparations, what should it look like? It should look like some every one of us having life insurance policies that we can feed into the big daddies of them all, not term insurance, the big
Right.
daddies of them all,
Right.
where we can
Exactly.
invest and set up uh, family banks like the Rockefellers did, so that generations to come are good. But
Yep.
you don't want to hear that. You want to hear how can you go get a Gucci bag and you want to get rims and you come on,
With
man.
it,
Like we
with
gotta
it.
wake up.
Man, I go back to what Dr. George Fraser said. He said, you know, a lot of us, and this goes to the mentality you were talking about, we'd rather have a Gucci bag, a $5,000 Gucci bag with nothing in it,
Yes,
than to have a trash bag or handbag with five
five
thousand
thousand
dollars
dollars.
in it.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to the idea, y'all, that a lot of us have never had. A lot of us came out of impoverished situations, and a lot of us don't want to wait to be able to build wealth. We just want the money.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you, the best predictors of the future is history. And historically, when we get large sums of money, we don't keep it. And that's not just black people, by the way. That's everybody, white people, everybody. Because there is, listen to this, catch this, there is a black tax. And a black tax is this idea that when I suddenly come into any level of success, I owe Pookie, I owe Ray Ray, I owe Tone Tone, I owe everybody that all of a sudden wants to rock with me, that didn't rock with me for years before I got some money. There's a black tax that pulls on your emotions, and you feel like you got to take care of everybody instead of investing your money and making sure everything is good. We don't handle money well. Can we get to that point where we can just acknowledge that? Like, I don't handle money well. And the first thing that you need to do is, if you come into large sums of money, is hire somebody that looks like you, that you trust, that has a good background, that you've done the research on, and let them guide your financial affairs. Because you don't
and
know. And
and that's the
it's not bad not to know. It's bad to act like you know when you don't know.
right. And I swear the first thing that anybody that comes into a large sum of money should do is hire a financial planner. Do your homework, do your due diligence on that financial planner. But you need to sit down with a financial planner and map out how that what you're going to do and use that money for.
This is a
And
grown
most of
man
us won't do it.
conversation, Leroy. You done brought up some grown man points. I don't know that people are going to like you after today's podcast, because you brought up some critical points. Like I came into the podcast like I can't get down with reparations. I just can't. We need discipline. We don't need more money. We need discipline.
Hmm.
But you brought up some points that made me rethink. So that here's my position. I don't care whether they give us reparations or not.
Right.
What I do care about, though, is us doing what's necessary to position ourselves to take advantage of whatever comes our way. Right. And that is whether that's in the form of reparations and it comes financially, whether
Hmm.
that's in the form of everyone getting life insurance policies, whether that's everyone all of a sudden saying, I think one of the out of the box ways I'd like to see reparations, if there was ever one, is put everybody's credit score back to 850.
Boom.
Give
That's
me credit.
outside the box.
That's outside the box. Give me 850 and I'll go on my way. I'll make life happen. Right? Because one of the things that they didn't do it to us because we bought those homes.
Hmm.
We bought homes that we couldn't afford.
Yeah, but it was predatory though.
They were
In
predatory,
in
but
in, in buying those
nobody,
homes. So it wasn't
nobody,
just on us. That was
nobody
both.
made
That was,
right. Nobody
you know what
made
I'm
us
saying?
purchase the homes.
Correct.
Nobody made us purchase the homes. We knew that we made $9 an hour, and we went and bought a $400,000 home.
But you can flip that too and say they knew it as well.
Yeah,
They knew
of course
that
they
we couldn't
did.
afford
Of
it
course
because
they
they
did.
had to they had to look at those
Of
same numbers
course.
that we had to look at.
Of course, but it ain't their responsibility to think for us. It's our
Mm,
responsibility to think for us. So
absolutely.
just because they lay all of this stuff out before me, I got to be smart enough to say, "Hey,
Yeah,
what's this really look like for me?
absolutely.
And is this in my best interest?"
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
Tremel said a fair start. I just give us a fair start. I don't. You can't pay me for all the stuff that has happened. You can't. There's no amount of money
Yeah.
that can really satisfy the treatment of black people for well over 400 years. Ain't nothing you can pay me to take care of that. But giving me a fair start, put my credit score at 850, give me a life insurance policy, I'll make life happen. I'm good.
And then the responsibility, the rest of that is on you because
Yeah.
we've given you that clean slate, so to speak. We've given you the opportunity to be able to do what it
Yes.
is that you need to do. But
Yes.
to your point, it goes to what you point. If I don't have the financial literacy, if I don't have the
Yes.
discipline, if I don't have those principles, those
Yes.
foundational principles
Yes.
to operate in,
Yes.
I'll wind right back where I was before I got the
Yes.
850 and
Yes.
before I got the life insurance policy.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Absolutely. That is, y'all, it sounds funny, and Leroy and I joke on here a lot, but it's the truth.
this
If
is the
you
truth.
you get 850, they give you a fresh start, they give you a life insurance policy, you got a little cash value in your policy. 2 weeks, You're gonna go buy some stuff that you don't have the money to afford, and you'll be right back at a credit score of 480.
I
Playing
don't know anybody that has talked about this in the reparations in this
right,
way, bro.
right.
See, this is why I love the Grown Man
Oh
podcast
man,
because we talking about things that you're not going to hear. Any
it's
where did we say the cotton candy conversations are?
down the street.
5 blocks down, five
Put
blocks
a green
down.
awning
Put a green on it and make a
to
left.
the left.
That's where it is. But up in here, we're talking viable solutions. That is something that is doable.
Absolutely, absolutely. So great conversation. Let's take the hoodies off. This has been phenomenal. We got about 5 minutes to clown. Let's clown Nodella. Let's clown Tremel. They were late, right? Let's clown Dwight. Where'd Dwight go? I haven't heard from Dwight since the beginning of the podcast. Where'd Dwight go?
I think he put his finger up and walked out the room,
He put
bro.
his finger up, walked out the room. Get back here, Dwight. Get back here. Lala is in here talking about. I'm gonna look at what is it? Arnez J. Is that his name?
Yeah, honest Jay,
I'm gonna
absolutely, bro.
check him out today.
Just the straight. You want to talk about your stomach gonna hurt, bro? I'm telling you, it is going dark. Your head gonna be like, oh my god, I can't laugh anymore.
Look,
This
hey, hey,
dude is
look
too
at what Nodella
stupid.
just put, man.
And she said, let's clown the see why you gotta go there? What see? I was trying to be nice, trying to be nice,
Woo. I don't
but
know what I'm gonna
you
do, Leroy, with no football this weekend.
what? Well, hey, like I said, and see, I don't know how much you're into college basketball. And here's the funny thing. Here's the crazy thing. I used to love college basketball, but I'm not as into college basketball as and I don't need basketball. To me, is just I've lost my
Me too.
luster for it, bro.
Me
The
too.
NBA, I'm just sick of it. I saw this thing too, and this may be a topic that we can use. They had a basket. He was I forgot which team he plays for, NBA team, but he was complaining because the owners have a stipulation now where they have to play a minimum of 65 games in order to be able to get like a certain part of their bonus.
Wow.
That's gonna be a game changer in that what do they call it, the where they rest players and they don't play
Yeah.
certain game.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
how many games in the season? 72?
82
82.
82 games,
82. 82 games in the season.
so you can't miss more than, I think it was like 13, 15, something like that, games from 82 down to 60, down to
Wow.
65.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I was like, and I'm like, what is wrong with these dudes? They think that they just supposed to oh, I'm not gonna play today. I can't play today. Yeah, Donald, I think we just need to take tomorrow off, bro. Just
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just not gonna do the grown man content. We tired. We just not gonna do the grown man podcast tomorrow. We tired.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
bro.
come on, man.
Wow.
No work ethic. No work ethic.
Lever, I'm gonna send you after we get off of here, I'm gonna send you let me see if I can I want to see if I can play it here. Oh, maybe not. I'll play it tomorrow.
Hmm.
Coach sent it to me today.
Okay,
There is, I'm gonna send it to you. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna find a way to be able to play it for our
on here.
people.
Okay.
But I'll send it to you. I'll be interested in your position on it, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Um, hey y'all, do me a favor if you're interested in supporting the Grown Man Podcast. Um, you can do that. Remand is both a nonprofit and for-profit organization. We are in the process of researching Remand. All of can y'all tell I'm geeked? I'm a geek in this way, right? The research process of all the work we've been believing for begins on this coming Monday. We launch everything that we're about to do to research Remand, research the program's efficacy, make adjustments, all that kind of stuff. Remand, dude, I'm so proud of this organization. I'm so proud of working with Leroy and and Lala and Tramel. Yeah, Nodella. Our board is solid. Um, Leroy, before we go, man, we got 30 seconds, right? Just kind of, and you can end this and then we'll sign off. What does it mean to you to be a part of an organization that isn't just about dealing with black men in name? Like you're part of it every single day. You're working hard every single day with Remand. What does it mean to really see work being done for adult black males for real, for real?
And see, I'm gonna be honest with you, Don. I'm honored. I'm
Yeah,
honored that you came into my life last year, and that we crossed paths, because
yeah,
that's what it was, that we crossed paths, and that this what we do, you're able to see every all of us, should want to have something that has meaning to the dash.
yeah,
For
yeah,
those that
yeah.
don't know what the
Even
dash is,
the
that's from
dash.
the date that you're
Yeah,
born, and the date that you pass away. There's a dash. That's all you see
yeah,
on your tombstone.
yeah,
Date you're born, date you leave, and that dash in between. And what you do in that dash is what matters. You got to ask yourself, does it matter?
yeah,
And I've said this, it's every generation's responsibility to make life better for the next generation.
yeah. Yes,
So
sir.
that's what Remain to me does, is doing, and will continue to do in the future, because it's set up that way. It's
Yeah,
set up to be an important and impactful organization right now, and moving forward into the future.
yeah,
So I'm privileged. I'm honored to be a part of that,
yeah.
and saying, "Hey, we're doing something that makes the lives of not just men, bro." Because we talked about we're not just making lives of men better. We're making the lives of those men, the people that those men's lives touch. Like we
Yes,
talked about the book, that the testimony that we got today,
yes, sir.
the lives of the men that the testimony came
Yeah,
from that young lady,
yeah,
that will be touched by that. It's going to, like that ripple effect, it's
yeah,
going to falter out. And
yeah,
that's how our communities get better, y'all.
yeah, yeah,
It's a ripple effect,
yeah. Absolutely.
and it moves out. So to know, I, that that to be a part of that, man, that makes me smile,
Yeah, man.
and
And
say my life means something,
I gotta tell you, man, when we first met, when we first crossed paths, I like that word or those words. When we first crossed paths, I did not know the significance of us crossing paths and what all of what you bring, obviously, to this work, but also to my life. And from the bottom of my heart, man, I'm privileged and thankful because you really are the brother I never had. You
Yeah,
really are the
yeah.
brother I never had. And so people laugh at us because we fight and fuss like we arch enemies. But there's no brother I love more. And the work that you do with us, and creating all the systems and making sure that Remain can live in the future. I'm not going to live forever. I'm not. I'm going back to the one that made me. And when I do, I will have been able to say, "Hey, man, I'm standing before you.
Ain't that a wonderful
Yeah,
feeling,
oh
bro, to
my
say
God, bro, I did what you asked me to do. I did what you asked me to do." And so I'm grateful for you as well. Um, and all the work that you do and all the uh, life that you bring to my life. I really am. I'm grateful. So I'm going to hang up before I get teary eyed. It's been a
Yeah.
privilege, y'all. Love and respect, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same back time, same back channel. Peace.
Blackity black.